It's Dan here, and I hope your week is going great so far. Uh, Monday, we talked about the dreams uh, being the starting line. And Tuesday, we talked about identity and who you need to become. Today is the practical layer underneath both of those. And it might be the most important conversation of the week. Today is about the daily build. So here's what nobody wants to hear. Your life is the sum of what you do most days. That's it. It's not about doing one big thing or one set of big days. It's about what you do on the boring days. The boring days are where everything is won or lost. So the Monday morning workout, when you don't feel like it, the reading you do at night when you would rather scroll, or the hour you spend studying instead of watching the game, conversation with your kids just before bed. Instead of zoning out on your phone, talk to your kids. None of these things individually feel like much. None of them feel like they're going to change your life. But you stack 1,000 of them on top of each other, and you won't even recognize the person you became. This is called the compound effect, and it works for you or against you. It all depends on which way you're stacking the choices. So think about it like interest at the bank. If you put $100 in the savings account and never touch it, in a month, you'll have $100 plus a minuscule thing. The change is so small, you wouldn't even notice. But 30 years later, that same $100 left alone, it's grown into something significant. Not because anything dramatic happened, not any one day, but because the small growth compounded over time. Your habits work the exact same way. Every habit you build, either good ones or bad ones, it's making small daily deposits that you'll collect on in the future. So you read for 20 minutes a day. For 10 years, you will be one of the most well-read people you know. Work out 3 times a week for 10 years and you will be in better shape than 95% of the people you know or the people even your own age. Spend 15 minutes a day with your kids actually paying attention to them. You'll have a relationship that most parents would trade anything for. None of these require talent. None of them require luck. They certainly don't require money. They just require consistency. But here's where most people fall apart. They try to do too much too soon. And they crash within a few weeks. They decide on January 1st, they're going to wake up 5 minutes. They're going to wake up at 5 in the morning. They're going to go do a workout for an hour. They're going to journal for 30 minutes. They're going to read for an hour. They're going to eat healthy. And they're going to save 50% of their income. And by February, they're right back where they started. They beat themselves up about how they have no discipline. So the problem wasn't the discipline. The problem was the strategy. So the better the strategy is, the better strategy, I should say, is doing the small, boring things. Just pick one habit. Make it almost embarrassingly simple. Do it every single day until it's automatic. And then add one more. If you never worked out in your life, don't start with an hour at the gym. Start with 5 push-ups when you wake up. 5. That's it. And you do it for 2 weeks until it's automatic. Then make it 10. And then add a walk after dinner. Then you add a real workout once a week. You build the foundation before you build the house. So if you want to read more, you don't start by reading a chapter a day. Start with 1 page. 1 page only. Anybody can do 1 page. Build the habit of opening the book first, and the rest will take care of itself. If you want a better marriage, don't start with a weekly date night and a daily long conversation. Start with one intentional question at dinner. Just one. Ask at dinner. But ask the question like, how was your day? And that's it. That's just ask, how was your day? But then you need to shut your mouth and you need to truly listen. Listen to the full answer all the way through. And then formulate your response. Don't interrupt. Don't cut them off. Listen and then respond. So the secret here is the size of the habit. It doesn't really matter. The repetition of the habit is what matters. You're not trying to make a change happen overnight. It's not going to happen. You're trying to build a system that quietly produces change every single day for the rest of your life. I'll tell you something I learned while in training to be a flight engineer, even as a load master. We ran checklists. They were not impressive. They're really quite boring. You read one line, you take one action, then you confirm the action, then you move to the next line. And you do it over and over and over. The same checks every flight. Nothing dramatic. It's boring. It's repetitive, but it's also what keeps the plane in the air. The pilots and the engineers who skip these steps because, maybe they got cocky, they're the ones who eventually have a bad day. The ones who run the checklist every time, even when they don't feel it's necessary, they're the ones who fly safely for decades. Your life is no different. The boring repetition is the safety system. It's also the growth system. Trust the small things. So today's homework, take that identity statement you wrote down yesterday. Then ask yourself, what is one habit, almost embarrassingly simple, that a person with that identity would do every day? Just one. Write it down. You can put it in the comments if you want. What's your habit you're going to add to each day? How simple. And then commit to that habit for 30 days. Don't stack on 5 habits. Don't add more to it. Don't try and be a new person by Friday. It's not going to work. Just add one habit. Just do it for 30 days. That's all we're at. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about setbacks, because the moment you start trying to change your life, things will try to knock you off and things will go wrong. I'll give you a framework for handling those setbacks without quitting. Don't quit. Never give up. Stay after it. But for today, pick up one habit. Start tonight. The compound effect doesn't care if you start on Monday or some random Wednesday. It just starts running the moment you pick up that one thing. So have a great rest of your day. And then we'll see you here tomorrow. Take it easy.